Hello, my name is Annie Davis. I'm a Media Studies and English teacher at a Decile 9 school which has been BYOD for 5 years. In my subjects, there is a lot of theory to be studied. It is detailed, complex, and I've been studying it for years. So, what I find difficult is moving away from chalk and talk with me up in front of the class, boring students with long lectures. Developing creative and innovative minds capable of generating new knowledge is crucial to consider, as in this digital age, the majority of jobs are being outsourced to machines, leaving only vacancies that require creative thinking and construction of new knowledge. By lecturing students, I am not preparing them to be successful in the future. So the problem I have identified is that students are not showing authentic understanding and evaluation for excellence, due to too much lecturing, which is preventing students from having learning experiences that allow them to find out information for themselves. Students are not reaching higher levels of critical thinking and are not understanding content as they are unable to relate it to their own experiences. The 21st century key competencies that require work are collaboration, using ICT, knowledge building and thinking, and real-world problem solving. I have now come to agree with constructivism that rather than being the sage on the stage in a transmission mode of teaching, teachers should act as guides on the side, providing opportunities to test the adequacy of students' current understandings. Lev Vygotsky came up with the concept of zone of proximal development in this constructivism social development theory, which is basically a balance between what the learner does independently and how much input they require from a knowledgeable source. So the best education to prepare students for the future is giving students the time, space and opportunity to learn from their peers by doing. It is important to me that this question is addressed, as I don't want to be part of outdated industrial modes of education and would rather teach students how to think, not what to think, so they can learn to be creative and generate new knowledge. I want them to be able to have authentic learning experiences and process information through collaboration, to evaluate impacts they have identified themselves, coming up with original solutions that could perhaps contribute to real-world problem solving. Impacts of this problem. Disengagement. Lecturing is not helping students get to higher levels of thinking, because some students do not learn this way. It does not allow for differentiation of learning. They also have no responsibility and do not own the information and are therefore unwilling to put in any personal investment. Learning what to think instead of how to think means no true understanding of content. This is a problem because critical thinking needs to be authentic and come from the student deducing his or her own ideas linked to their understanding of the world. No collaboration. Collaboration is important here as it broadens the pool of life experience which can be linked to new knowledge. They must be able to relate ideas to their own lives. The more peers, the more life experiences. Breadth, not depth. Students get overwhelmed by the amount of information and write too much without showing depth and levels of thinking. This is due to overteaching. Too much information, students get confused. Students need to link knowledge to an area of their own interest and therefore relate knowledge to their own lives. No real learning takes place. Students are just regurgitating my ideas and have not learned anything that will actually help them in the real world. As Piaget said, there is a greater need for students to learn how to generate new information and ideas, not repeat their teachers' viewpoints. And this means there needs to be more doing by students and less lecturing from me. Impacts from solving this problem. Better prepared for the future, thinking at higher levels with an ability to generate new knowledge. Students have a system of how to think that can be applied to the world and other subjects. Engaged students. Students own the information themselves and have a better understanding of information as they have worked it out on their own terms. Students are focused on an area of their own interest and are therefore more engaged as can relate information to their own lives and experiences. Students understand links between content and impacts and evaluations as they have had to find it out for themselves through doing. They can show a progression of ideas as the ideas come from them. Authentic learning experiences taking place with real-world problem solving. Students are able to reflect as they understand what level of thinking is required for each level. They understand how they have been thinking through each learning experience. Use of collaboration to broaden the pool from which to link to life experiences. they now understand knowledge building and therefore can contribute to real-world problem solving. So, my solution is problem-based learning, a constructivist approach. John Dewey, an educational theorist, focused on progressive student-driven learning and was influenced by Confucius. He went on to promote this idea of learning by doing. So, my solution and tool to resolving my problem, inspired by theorists of Dewey and Piaget, is to use this problem-based learning to help students figure it out for themselves, which is essentially learning by inquiry. This will ensure that I set up an educational environment that provides the opportunity for discovery by the student. I will do this by having a driving question or problem that student groups research and provide solutions for, thinking the problem through by the use of Solo's taxonomy, clear goal setting, self-management, clear student-identified learning intentions and success criteria, using collaboration through Google Docs with clear roles identified by the group, followed up with critical reflection. So in accordance to Vygotsky's constructivism theory, I will be adopting the role of facilitator and not content provider, promoting what Seymour Papert, a pioneer of problem-based learning, called learning based on doing, utilizing materials to creatively develop abstract learning. I will be facilitating students as they find out information for themselves. Students will complete learning activities whilst collaborating on projects. This will create a larger pool for students to connect knowledge with and will make use of and enhance Lev Vygotsky's concept of the zone of proximal development. The more varied life experiences in a group, the more prior knowledge available for students to connect new knowledge to. Yes, this is an idealistic view. This whole system will also need to be adjusted accordingly to the dynamics of the class. In reality, I will need to set this up over time. And I will need to consider students of all abilities, including those who do not yet have the required skills. Competencies that I've addressed are a video product, Google Docs, learning experiences like video conferencing and live research, which will result in effective use of the 21st century collaboration using ICT. Use of ICT to create learning experiences. Using Solo's taxonomy steps in a problem-based learning activity will assist in collaborative knowledge building and thinking for generating and applying innovative ideas, therefore solving real-world problems, and the skills to think creatively, securing a promising future.